Master,
Leave it.
I need a complete outfit before sunrise.
They said my master sewed clothes for people who no longer breathed. I did not believe it at first. Master Sani was just a tailor in Nabura market. He always worked after midnight in his workshop because he had customers who never arrived during the day. Nobody knew where those customers came from. And my master refused to talk about the work he did after the market closed. But I knew the truth because I was there the first night one of them walked into our workshop. I stood beside Master Sani when he accepted an order from someone who should not have been able to enter through that door. I watched him begin sewing, and I watched the impossible become part of our everyday life. People still remember my master as the greatest tailor Nabura had ever seen, but they don't know what happened before all of that. If you enjoy stories like this, where ordinary people uncover impossible secrets, then subscribe, because that's what this channel is all about. My name is Musa, and I was an apprentice of Master Sani. Before the spirits came looking for him, he was already different from other tailors in Nabura market. Nobody doubted his talent. Regular tailors focused on measurements, the length of an arm, the size of a shoulder, the shape of a body. But Sani saw something deeper. He noticed the way someone walked into his
38
workshop,
inches for the
the
chest.
confidence they carried, the things they were
Perfect.
trying to hide,
I trust
the
your hands,
image they
Baba.
wanted people
You are
to
in
see
good hands.
when they stepped outside wearing something new. Somehow, he could take all of that and turn it into clothing. His outfits did not just look good. They felt like they belonged to the person wearing them. A wealthy merchant once
I've
visited
heard
his
you're the
workshop
finest tailor
after
in
someone
Nabura.
recommended his work. The man was known for his
Stand
expensive
naturally.
taste and his desire to always look impressive wherever he went. Sani spent only a short time observing him before taking his measurements. He didn't even ask many questions. When the outfit was finally completed, the merchant was very impressed. The clothing matched his personality and the confidence he carried. From that day on, he refused to let any other tailor make his clothes. Every new outfit he wore came from Master Sani's workshop. Word immediately spread across Nabura market. People believed Sani's future was already decided, that a man with that kind of ability could never remain ordinary, but they only saw one side of him. While Sani had the hands of a master, his habits kept him trapped in the same place. His workshop was always filled with unfinished orders. Customers
Oga, you
waited
promised me
weeks
this clothes
longer
since
than
last week.
promised.
Look at it, you have not even
He
touched it
even
at
mixed
all.
up
My son,
important
just calm down.
measurements.
In no time,
He
I will
had
finish
talent, but simply lacked
Just come back
discipline.
tomorrow, okay?
He was too relaxed about opportunities that other people would have sacrificed everything to receive. But he did not know that one day, the same gift he took for granted would attract customers from somewhere no living tailor had ever received an order from. Before any of that happened, someone else walked into Master Sani's life. Someone who would bring order to the chaos he had grown used to. That person was me. I was still young when I first walked into Master Sani's workshop. I wasn't looking for anything extraordinary. I only wanted to learn a skill that could help me earn an honest living. Master Sani didn't even ask many questions about my past. He hired me because he needed an extra pair of hands in the workshop. Someone to sweep the shop, arrange the fabrics, keep track of customer orders, and make sure the work kept moving smoothly. That became my job. Every morning, I arrived before he did and prepared the shop for the day's work. Little by little, the workshop became easier to manage and the constant confusion slowly began to disappear. That was how we worked. He made the masterpieces while I handled everything else. Looking back now, I realized we were not preparing the workshop for more customers. We were preparing it for the night our ordinary lives would quietly come to an end. Because the more organized the workshop became, the easier it was for someone else to find us. Someone who wasn't interested in delayed orders. Someone who had been waiting for the right time to walk through our door. The night she arrived, Nabura market had already gone quiet. The last traders were unlocking their shops. The sound of footsteps faded one after another until only our workshop remained open. Inside, unfinished clothes covered almost every table. Some customers had been waiting for nearly 2 weeks to collect their orders. Master Sani barely looked up from the sewing machine. That night, he decided to stay back and work, hoping to reduce the number of angry faces that would show up at the workshop the next morning. Outside, the market grew quieter with every passing minute, until it felt like the entire market had gone to sleep. Then the door opened. Neither of us had footsteps. There was no knock. An elderly woman walked in. She wasn't dressed like someone who had wandered in by accident. Everything about her looked neat and carefully arranged. Her wrapper had no dust on it, even though the market roads were never clean. The scarf around her head looked freshly tied. She carried herself with a quiet confidence that made the workshop suddenly feel smaller. Without introducing herself, she placed a neatly folded piece of traditional
I need a
fabric on the
complete
table.
outfit before
I need a
sunrise.
complete outfit before sunrise, she said. Master Sani finally looked up from the sewing machine. I expected him to reject the request immediately. He already had more work than he could finish before morning. Making another outfit was impossible. He explained that he had too many orders waiting. I could not promise to finish another one before daylight. The woman listened patiently. She didn't argue or try to persuade him. Instead, she reached into the small bag she was carrying and placed a bundle of money on the table. The sound alone made both of us look down. I had never seen that much money paid in advance for a single outfit. The notes looked unusually clean, minted naira notes that looked like they had come straight from the central bank. Master Sani picked up the bundle and counted it once. Then he counted it again. It was almost 10 times what he normally charged. I looked at the woman, then at the money, then back at Master Sani. Something about the whole situation did not feel right. But Master Sani had stopped asking questions. The money had already convinced him. He accepted the fabric. The woman gave a small nod as though she already knew he would. As she turned to leave, she paused at the doorway and gave one
When you
instruction.
finish, place
When
the
you
outfit
finish,
on the table
place the outfit on the
and
table
leave the lamp
and leave the
burning.
lamp burning.
Someone will come for
Someone will
it.
come for it. Then she walked out into the darkness. Master Sani continued staring at the bundle of money in his hands. He knew the request was strange, but people willing to pay that much did not come often. Soon, he pushed every unfinished fabric order to one side of the table and started working on the expensive fabric. That night, I saw a different side of Master Sani. He wasn't distracted. Nothing made him stop halfway. Hour after hour, he worked without taking a break. Slowly, the outfit began taking shape, and by the time the first signs of dawn were beginning to touch the sky, the work was finished. It was one of the finest outfits I had ever seen him make. Master Sani folded it carefully and placed it in the exact spot where the woman had left the fabric. Then he lit the oil lamp beside it, and we waited. The workshop remained silent. The market outside was still empty. The hours of work finally caught up with him. Master Sani leaned back in his chair, and almost immediately, he fell asleep. I must have fallen asleep not long after him. When I opened my eyes again, sunlight was already pushing through the windows. The lamp had gone out. Master Sani woke up, and the first thing both of us looked at was the table. The outfit was gone. Neither of us remembered hearing anyone enter the workshop. The door was still locked from inside. There were no footprints, nothing to suggest another person had been there. Only a small envelope resting where the clothes had been. Inside it was the remaining payment. Fresh notes, just as clean as the first bundle. Master Stanley looked around the workshop again, then counted the money. Slowly, a smile spread across his face. It was more money than he had ever earned from a single customer. And in that moment, every unanswered question became less important than the money in his hands. That was the first order, the first night. The first stitch in a story neither of us was ready to live through. The rest of the day passed like every other day. Customers came with new fabrics. Others came to collect finished clothes. And as usual, a few left disappointed because Master Sani hadn't completed their outfits. In all of that, Master Sani seemed distracted. That evening, when the other tailors began closing their shops, he did something he had never done before. Instead of packing up and going home, he lit the lamp again. Then he waited. Nothing happened. The market emptied. After a long while, he finally sighed, put out the lamp, and locked the workshop. The next night, he did the same thing, and the night after that. Then, just when I had stopped expecting anything, she returned. The strange elderly woman walked into the workshop as quietly as she did the first time, carrying another folded piece of fabric. She asked for another outfit. She paid another huge amount of money and gave the same instruction before leaving. Finish the work before
When
sunrise.
you finish,
Leave it on the
place the
table.
outfit on the
Keep the
table
lantern burning.
and
Just
keep
like
the
before,
lamp burning.
the clothes was gone
Someone
before
will come
morning.
for it.
Another envelope waited in its place. No footsteps, no open door, and no explanation. After that, the visit became a pattern. Not every night. Sometimes 3 nights passed without seeing her. Sometimes she returned sooner. But whenever Nabura market became silent after midnight, Master Sani kept the workshop open, and sooner or later she always appeared. Every visit ended the
I
same
need
way.
a complete
A
outfit
folded
before
fabric,
sunrise.
a generous payment,
500 naira, mama.
one strange instruction, and another outfit that disappeared
This is
before
for your
daylight.
excellent work.
Master Sani stopped asking questions after the third visit. The mystery no longer interested him. He was only interested in the money. For the first time since I had known him, no unpaid bills were waiting on his table. He bought better fabrics instead of settling for cheaper ones. He repaired the old sewing machines that had been broken for months. Later, he brought in new ones. The workshop slowly began to change. Fresh shelves replaced the old wooden planks that had been bending under the weight of fabrics. Customers began to notice the difference too. More people began coming to the shop. Before long, Master Sani was no longer struggling to find customers. He was struggling to find enough time to serve all of them. People started calling him the finest tailor in Nabura. Whenever I had those compliments, I looked at the locked drawer where he kept the midnight payments. The people praising him had no idea that part of his success arrived only after everyone else had gone home. As the weeks passed, I also began noticing things that never seemed to bother Master Sani. The old woman always came alone. She never arrived before midnight. She never returned during the day. Out of curiosity, I
Do you know of the
casually asked
elderly
one
woman
trader
who
in the
visited
market
Master
if he
Sani's
knew an
workshop
elderly woman
quarterly?
who visited our workshop late at
I
night.
have no idea
He
who you are
frowned for a
talking
moment
about.
before shaking his head. Later, I asked two more shop owners. Neither of them knew who I was talking about. That surprised me. Nabura Market was the kind of place where everybody knew everybody, but nobody knew this woman. The more I thought about her, the less sense everything made. My curiosity eventually became stronger than fear. I told myself there had to be something I was missing. One night, after completing another outfit for the woman, Master Sani placed it on the table and lit the oil lamp as he always did. Then he stretched his body and lay down to sleep. I did the same, or at least I pretended to. I closed my eyes and waited. Time passed, and my eyes became heavy. But every time I felt myself drifting off, I forced myself to remain awake. Then it happened. Without the sound of the door opening, the old woman was suddenly standing inside the workshop. I almost gasped. She didn't look at Master Sani nor at me. She picked up the folded outfit with both hands. Then she placed another envelope on the table. Everything happened exactly as it always had. Only this time, I was awake. My heart pounded so hard I was afraid she would hear it. The woman turned towards the exit. I waited for her hand to reach the door, but it never did, and without slowing down, she passed through it. Her body disappeared through the door, as if it wasn't even there, and just like that, she was gone. I saw it with my own eyes. Out of fear, I quickly shook Master Sani awake. My words refused to come out properly. I told him she had just taken the clothes. I told him she had walked straight through the door. I expected him to jump in shock, but there was no surprise on his face. After a long silence, he admitted that he had also watched the woman collect the clothes and disappear. He already knew the truth. The woman was a ghost. I asked why he continued collecting orders from her
Master,
after seeing
if
that.
you know she's a ghost,
All he
why do
said
you keep
was,
taking her orders?
I know what she is, but have you seen what she pays? He explained that he almost stopped accepting the orders, but the woman returned again and again. He had stopped seeing a ghost. She was now his customer, his special
The
customer.
spirits are trying
Then
to
he
hold
finally
on to
told me
who
what
they
he
used
knew.
to be.
The
Death
spirits were not
doesn't
buying
erase a
clothes to look
person all
beautiful.
at once.
They were trying
It
to
happens.
hold on to who they used to be. Death did not erase a person in a single moment. It happened slowly. First, memories began to slip away. Then their voices. Then even their faces. Little by little, they became strangers to themselves. That was why the clothes mattered. Without them, they slowly faded into empty shadows. And when the right tailor made it, the clothing held onto the person's identity. It was then that I understood that Master Sani was not simply sewing clothes. He was preserving people. Why don't they make their clothes themselves? I asked. Master Sani shook his head. Spirits cannot create anything new. Creation belongs to the living. Only living hands could make something capable of carrying another soul's identity. That was why they came to tailors like him and paid whatever price was necessary. Master Sani's gift was the reason the spirits found him. Other tailors could measure a body, but Sani could understand the person behind it. He knew what made someone unique and could turn that into clothing. The spirits were not looking for a tailor. They were looking for someone who could preserve who they were. For a while, everything seemed perfect. The midnight orders continued. The money kept increasing, and Master Sani became more successful. But slowly, the money started changing him. He became less careful with time. Some nights, he stayed out late and attended parties with rich customers. He returned to the workshop tired, distracted, and sometimes smelling of alcohol. Then came the first mistake. One night, after another party, Master Sani arrived at his workshop much later than usual. The elderly woman had already left a new order waiting for him. He started sewing immediately, but his movements were slower than before. He stopped several times to rest. The work that normally took him one night stretched dangerously close to sunrise. When the first light began touching the sky, the outfit was still unfinished. The spirit came for the clothing anyway, and the unfinished outfit disappeared before sunrise. The next night, the elderly woman returned, not with another piece of fabric. This time, she came with the incomplete garment folded in her hands.
The spirit
She
who
did not
received this
shout or
clothing
threaten him. She
is
simply
beginning
told
to
him that
fade.
the spirit who
You
received the
must
clothing
fix
had
what was
become fading.
unfinished.
The garment failed to preserve its identity. Parts of the spirit had already started disappearing. Master Sani apologized. He looked genuinely afraid. The woman watched him quietly. Then she gave him another chance. For a while, Master Sani became careful again. He stayed in the workshop, avoided distractions, and the complaints stopped. I thought he had learned his lesson. I was wrong. Success has a strange way of making people forget the things that brought them there. As more money entered the workshop, Master Sani slowly returned to his old habits. Then came the second mistake. Another important order arrived, but instead of preparing for it, he spent the evening with wealthy customers. He came back late and rushed the work. By sunrise, the garment was barely complete. The next night, something happened that had never happened before. A spirit entered the workshop by itself. Not the elderly woman, the customer itself. Its face kept changing, and its voice sounded like it was fading away. The garment had failed. The old woman appeared beside him and looked at Master Sani. She
The
said that the
gift
gift
cannot
could not
remain with
remain with
someone
someone
who no
who no
longer
longer
respects
respected
it.
it. Then she turned and left. I knew something had changed. A few nights later, the elderly woman returned with another piece of fabric unlike anything I had ever seen. It was softer than silk and seemed to carry its own light. She said this order was different. The spirit it belonged to had already begun disappearing. There would not be another chance. Master Sani promised he would finish it before sunrise, but the same mistake happened again. He delayed the work until the night was almost gone. By morning, the garment was still incomplete. The elderly woman arrived, looked at the unfinished clothes, then at Master Sani. Something was wrong. His hair had turned grey. Deep lines covered his face. He looked years older than the man who had entered the workshop the night before. The strength had left his body. She said the gift never belonged to him forever. It was carried only by those who respected it. Master Sani believed his talent made him special, but he forgot that a gift is also a responsibility. The spirit did not take it away because he failed once. They took it away because he kept choosing comfort over responsibility. The elderly woman turned to me. She picked up the unfinished garment and placed it gently in my hands. She asked me to finish it. I told her I was only an apprentice. I had spent years watching Master Sani work, but I had never believed I could do what he did. But my master encouraged me. Go ahead, Musa, you can do it. So I sat before the sewing machine. As I held the fabric, I remembered everything Master Sani had taught me. How to see the person behind every outfit. When the final stitch was complete, the elderly woman looked at the garment without a word. A moment later, another spirit appeared before us. It was the owner of the garment. This time, its face no longer shifted. Its voice was clear. It stood before us whole once again. Then the woman revealed the truth. She never chose Master Sani, but she chose the workshop. Years ago, tailors with the same gift had worked within those walls. Whenever one master's journey came to an end, another was prepared to continue it. That was why every master trained an apprentice to prepare a successor. The money that was paid was not a reward, but a temptation. The spirits were searching for someone who loved the craft enough to protect it. When the elderly woman left that morning, she did not return to Master Sani again. She returned to me. From that day, our workshop remained the same. By day, I made clothes for the living. By night, I waited for the elderly woman to return. People think a tailor's job is only to make clothes, but sometimes it is to make sure someone is never forgotten.